Warning: the current username on my channel is false due to an individual hacking my YouTube channel, and this issue may not be resolved until the next couple of months. It is very important that all of my viewers, no matter who you are, read this before watching this video. Thank you, and enjoy the video. Hey guys, so before I start this review, you guys may have noticed in the beginning of my review I put on a notice. Technically, my current YouTube name was my YouTube name was taken down due to a hacking situation. The current YouTube channel name that you are seeing on my channel right now is false because my YouTube channel is being hacked, and I won't be able to get my YouTube channel username until a couple of months later. So this means I will still be making videos, just not as frequently. I probably won't be doing my next movie review until maybe It Chapter 2 comes out, or maybe until a horror movie month. But yeah, it's going to take me a couple of months to get my YouTube channel username back. So I just wanted you guys to inform you that I have nothing to do with this username, and this is all due to a hacking situation, and I hope you guys understand. But anyway, thank you guys so much for supporting me through my YouTube channel, and let's talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out last month, late sort of, and I actually had the pleasure of seeing this a couple of weeks ago. The reason why I never did a review on it is because of the hacking situation on my channel, but anyway, I actually had the pleasure of seeing this movie a couple of weeks ago, and this film basically revolves around the story of two men. One's an actor, and he has a stunt double friend, and their current goals are trying to get a lot more recognized in the film industry. Let me get this out of the way. I am an extremely big fan, die-hard fan of Quentin Tarantino. Ever since I saw Pulp Fiction, which was the first film I saw made from him, that movie absolutely blew me away. It was one of those movies that changed the way on how I viewed movies. And I really do have a lot of respect for that movie. Check out my shirt. Like, seriously, I really do have a lot of respect for that movie. And Quentin Tarantino in general. After I've seen Pulp Fiction, I've checked out all of his other movies. I've seen all 9 of his movies, including Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I gotta say, to be completely honest, I walked in this movie very excited. And I walked out with all of my expectations still in one place. I think that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the best movie of 2019. Like, honestly. There's really so much that could be said about this film. It has everything you would want out of a Quentin Tarantino film. And for one, I've noticed a lot of things while watching this film. I've picked up a lot of things. This movie takes place in 1969. And this film doesn't really feel like a movie that would be released in today's society. This does not feel like a film that would be released in 2019. This really does feel like a 60s movie. And Tarantino did a masterful job setting that up. Leonardo DiCaprio is excellent, absolutely terrific in this movie. Did not expect him to be very, very lovable in this movie, but his performance is very something in this movie because, you know, this is a comedy film, and it's also a drama film, too. And his character is interesting, very interesting and important, because we see his character is technically being forgotten in the film industry, and he wants to be known more. And he needs the help of his stunt double in order to do that. And there are elements where the film takes risk, but it was so well done that I didn't care. It was really that good. There were times where you could feel like this film is satisfying you, and it's like, let's do some more with these characters and the script. And let's throw some more details in. I seriously found it very fascinating. And a lot of diehard Quentin Tarantino fans, or people who just love watching narrative films in general, may watch films like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, walk out of it and think, this is one of the best things we have out today, honestly. Honestly, it's better than most of the things that have been released in our modern day. And it's very easy to say that, but not just because it comes from such a master director. It's because this film actually has that potential. And if you were to tell me that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is better than technically almost everything that has been released in the 2000s decade, I'd be completely not surprised. I would agree with you highly, because I do believe Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is way better than most of the stuff that has been released in our modern day. And I think most people are going to feel like that too. Seriously though, aside from Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, I seriously do believe that Brad Pitt deserves an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. He is phenomenal in this movie. The things that he does and the things that he says, and the way his character is set up in this film. And the tone that he delivers alone is excellent. And I absolutely got to say that I enjoyed the living heck out of the first and third act of the film. I really did like the second act. A lot of things were built up into the second act. That's how I felt, at least. And I honestly thought the elements in the second act were really well handled. The first and third act, though, I just have to talk about the first and third act because it's on point Tarantino. It is phenomenal. It is seriously phenomenal, especially the third act. Once the third act kicked in, and the things that just happened in the third act, which I won't spoil, it is glorious. It absolutely just made me feel good sitting inside a movie theater. And it was around, I'd say, 10 or 11 at night. And this entire experience was worth it. I don't care how late it was. I really didn't care how late it was, because the third and the first act were absolutely glamorous. I really did love the second act too, but once it got to the third act, like I already said, things just happen. Things just absolutely unfold, and yes, it just makes you feel good. And that's when you know you're watching a Tarantino film. And let me get this out of the way first off. If you plan on seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and if you have never seen a single Quentin Tarantino movie, I'd recommend you stay away from watching this movie and try watching other Quentin Tarantino films before you come to your conclusion that you should watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because I'm going to be completely honest when I say this. Quentin Tarantino's films are not for everyone. They're made for a specific and a certain audience alone. Seriously though, I seriously do not care. I love Quentin Tarantino, and so I would have no problem watching a Quentin Tarantino movie if it was released. I seriously had no problem with this film. I honestly seriously do think this is the best movie of 2019 and one of the best modern movies we have, and possibly one of the best movies of the 2010s. But if I were to rank this film on my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies, I would probably put this on my top 5 favorite Quentin Tarantino films. I'd put this on the top 5 list. It is that good. Let's talk about Margot Robbie, who does an excellent job as Sharon Tate in this film. And just to give you guys a little heads up, if you have no clue who Sharon Tate was, and by the way, this film actually does call names and use names of actual film directors and film actors and actresses in the film industry. So if you guys are not familiar with any of these people, then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is definitely not the movie for you. But if you guys are, especially if you're unaware of who Sharon Tate was an actress, and I believe it was around 1969, or it was 1969. She was 26 years old. She was hanging out with her friends in her home while her husband, Roman Polanski, which is a filmmaker I really do respect, If you've guys seen my review for Chinatown, Roman Polanski directed that film. And Roman Polanski was on vacation while his wife was at her home with her friends, and they were murdered by people called the Manson family. They were murdered by the Manson family. I honestly thought Margot did justice as Sharon Tate in this film. She did an excellent job. I'm gonna be honest though, I felt like there were a few times where they could have done more of her in this film. And I'm not talking about screen-wise, but I'd probably say a little development. And I'm not saying this is a flaw. That's literally just me though. But considering that this was a real-life actress who was horrifically murdered, it's highly possible that Quentin Tarantino wanted to deliver the right amount of realism to her character. And I honestly think he did it. He really did. Quentin Tarantino set up so many amazing characters in this film, and he's so great at doing that in a lot of his films. Seriously though, I'm going to be completely honest when I say this. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is easily one of my all-time favorite movies now that I've seen it. And please check this movie out if you're a Quentin Tarantino fan. Because if you're a Quentin Tarantino fan, I have no doubts that you will hate this movie. But if you haven't seen a single Quentin Tarantino film, or if you're not even familiar with who this filmmaker is, then stay away from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because you're not going to understand a single thing that's happening. Like, I seriously mean this. If you're not familiar with this filmmaker, and I'm not trying to say this in a harsh way, but if you're not familiar with this filmmaker, and if you haven't seen a single one of his previous movies, don't even watch this movie. Seriously. But if you are really a kind of person who really does like narrative films, and films with a lot of detail, and if you haven't seen a single Quentin Tarantino film, then I'd say you could make this your first one. But seriously, this film surprised me on every level. I absolutely adore this film. Quentin Tarantino, you gotta keep making films. And I don't think that's actually going to happen, because I supposedly heard that it's either going to be this or Quentin Tarantino's next film, which will be his last film supposedly. He may be working on a Star Trek film or something like that. I think that's what I heard. If not, then this may be his last film, and then he's going to go to writing plays and stuff like that in Broadways. But I really hope that doesn't happen, because I really want this man to keep making films. He is an important figure in the history of cinema. And this man deserves a lot out of the people, because his movies are immaculate. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood gets an A+. So you guys, thank you so much for watching this review. You guys are the best. I love every single one of you. And thank you so much for 600 subscribers. I know I haven't posted a video in like nearly 2 weeks, but you know, that's because of the hacking situation that's going on my channel. I'm going to keep on mentioning this too, so you guys are actually aware of why my YouTube channel name is different. And I won't be getting my YouTube channel name back until the next a couple of months. So that also means that I won't be uploading frequently. I still will be uploading videos. I just don't know if I'll be uploading frequently. But you guys will know if you guys get notifications or see new videos up on my channel. But yeah, I won't be getting my actual Eli B movie reviews username until a couple of months later, because of the hacking problem. But anyway, I'm really glad that you guys understand. And anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this review. You guys are the best. I love every single one of you. Look forward to more reviews that'll be coming very soon. And as always, if you're new here and you like what you see here, why not hit that subscribe button to join the EliB/520 community. And I will see you next time. Peace out.